ورحمة الله وبركاته. فاتحة إلى حضرة النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا بما ينفعنا ونفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا متقبلا إليك يا رب العالمين. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد آله وصحبه أجمعين. وبعد, we started this book last year, alhamdulillah. It's a really good book. It's not available at the moment in the market, but you might be able to buy one, but probably get it really expensive. Make dua that it comes back into print again. It's a very beautiful, practical book for the Muslims. Okay, I'm just going to revise one or two things from the last. So and this is a beautiful thing that you can add to your daily worship. And so one of the first prayers that he spoke about, which you can go and watch on the YouTube anyway. Yeah, can I use that? Yeah. Can I get it? So prayers proper to the time of the day. If you're looking at increasing and growing, this is an absolute gem of a namaz, absolute gem of a prayer, and you'll see this from when we speak about the merit of it. It's called Salatul Duha. Okay, you can see the mid-morning prayer duha is recommended, mustahab, mandub, like tahajjud. Okay, like the tahajjud of the night. This is for the morning. Okay, the prayer according to dominant position of the Hanafi madhab. That's the ruling. It's mustahab. So now, look, minimally 2 rak'ahs. This prayer is optimally performed as 4 rak'ahs or more. It's really important to grasp this. A lot of people make judgment on people based on the optimum. Is that clear? However, even minimally 2 is good. Is that clear? Your perfection lies in 12. Okay, and same with Taraweeh prayer. We say, look, 2, is the minimum, right? It's two sunnah, but optimum is 20. And we want people to be praying 20, inshallah ta'ala. But I think you have to be real as well. You have to look at people. You want to tell everybody, go pray Taraweeh. Some people are exhausted. Okay, they're really, and so for them, plus they're praying fard prayers and they're new to it. You think you never prayed before, you're praying fard, mashallah, well done, and sort of go easy with them. So with those type of people, when they say to you, can I pray 4 Taraweeh prayer or 8 prayer? I said, whatever from you is beautiful. You see. However, we want to work towards optimum. We want to go towards a Rasulullah sunnah. And so you'll find it's going to be 12, right? So 2, 4. Here actually he's speaking about ad-duha. Ad-duha will come now. So we look for the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said in this hadith, it's in Abu Darda radiallahu ta'ala, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whoever prays 2 rak'ahs will not be written amongst the heedless. One of our biggest challenges in life is being ghafil. Time is wasted, it's lost. Is that clear? It's not invested. Is that clear? And so here, how do I save myself, from falling into ghafla? How do I become somebody who's productive? How do I become somebody who can use all their time in a beneficial manner and it counts with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So here is a great blessing from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that if you, and sometimes we need spiritual aid, we need spiritual help. Okay, and here's that spiritual help, which is that if you can pray 2 rak'ahs in the morning, okay, mid-morning, okay, after Fajr, as the sun has risen, somewhere between that time and, like half an hour before Dhuhr, somewhere in there, if you can get 2 rak'ahs in, okay, the Prophet says, inshallah, you won't be from the heedless people. Exactly. So you get that divine aid, help, okay, to help you become productive. Then he said, whoever prays 4 will be written amongst those in perpetual worship. Al-Abid, Abidin. Look how powerful it is again. If you get 4 rak'ahs Salatul Duha in mid-morning prayer, okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from His generosity and kindness, record you. When it becomes a habitual thing from you, okay, They record you, put you from amongst those who perpetually are in worship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's hard in the morning because people are busy, people are distracted and so forth. Okay, it's difficult to get a break and fit it in. Do I go have a break, go for a walk? Do I get and have something that, something else? What do? So here, and then you've got, and whoever prays 6 will be sufficed that day, and their needs will be taken care of. Okay, and whoever prays 8, Allah will register, okay, that person, him amongst those standing perpetually in prayer. You see from it, they're called qaniteen, okay? These people, okay, here, look, perpetually be in worship is one, but to stand and be perpetually in worship is another thing. Instead of standing the entire day and praying to Allah, by getting things in at certain times, as directed by the Prophet ﷺ, could save you a lot of time and effort. Start making money really quickly. If you seek sound advice, someone says buy this house or buy that car, now buy shares, now sell. You're asking an expert. They understand how it works. They know how things work, right? And they just save you effort. And they save you time, and they save you, mashallah, they make you money too. And so in the same way, for the akhirah, okay, it's important for us to keep working and investing. And, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is an easier way, by getting things in at the right time. Is that clear? So here, a decision to make. And whoever prays 12 rak'ahs for him, shall Allah build a home in Jannah. Now that's again, you ask people, I'll give you a house, just pray 12 rak'ahs. I'll pray 12 for every day. Just keep giving me a house. House, that means £1,400 rent, bro. Even if you go, 2 bed or 1 bed, you're still looking at £1,000, right? Okay. A house in Jannah. This is the Prophet ﷺ's hadith, promising a house in Jannah for, 10-minute investment, or 12-minute investment, okay? Every morning for the sake of Allah. House in Jannah. And we should look to build houses here, and we should look to build houses in the Akhirah. And we build here in order to serve us in the Akhirah. Okay, and so here you can see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the tongue of the Prophet using examples of things that we sort of relate to now. So this is a wonderful prayer that we spoke about last year. You can go back to the recordings. The other one is the prayer of repenting. And this is another one that to add. People are looking to grow. A lot of you guys are already praying fard. You're not, you've got that in place, alhamdulillah. You look at how can I grow further? How can I grow further? So Salatul Duha becomes the beauty of a prayer to add to your daily routine. Is that clear? Daily routine, 2 rak'ah, 4, 6, 8 or 12. Okay. Interesting, 10 hasn't been mentioned there, by the way. But if somebody wanted to pray 10, they may. What the reward for 10 is, I don't know. Okay. SubhanAllah, once I was in Madinah Munawwara and Habib Ali was there, and I was sitting with him, and I was new to the whole scene, and Habib Ali was quite amazing to be sitting around with alone. It was a Grand Opry Hotel. We're sitting in the lobby, and we've just come from a Dawat Islami Zikr Allahu stuff, right? And the Yemeni scholars were there, and they're watching the Qadris go off on one. It was really nice. They just watched them do the Zikr, and then we came back. And then he said, you want to come? This brother turns up, and he's come to pick the Sheikh up in a Cadillac, right? And he's like, you want to come with me? And I was like, I was really tired. I've been awake the whole night. It was Ramadan. And I said, I'm going to excuse myself. He said, we're going to do the Urs Hawl of one of the pious men of Medina who died last year. So they were remembering him a year later. Okay. And he said he used to read 10 juz in Salatul Duha prayer every morning. In the Salatul Duha prayer, he would read 10 siparas of the Quran in that Salatul Duha prayer every morning. And then he mentioned he would do, I forget the numbers, like 10,000 astaghfirullah and la ilaha illallah. It was mind-boggling numbers. I think there's people out there who do that. They're on that type of level. There's nothing to stop us from striving. And just entertaining and thinking about those things. And we turn to Allah through His kindness and generosity, to put it in our heart to become people who memorize Quran. and start learning and reading and memorizing, and we try. The rest we leave with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's what's in our court. And it's possible, and everybody should have it in their mind. I want to memorize. I want to learn the Book of God. I want it for my children. And you haven't missed a boat. You're not too old. 40, 50, 60, 70. You're not too old. There are people still doing it. So here we leave it in with Allah. We ask, but we try it ourselves. So that's Salatul Awwabin. And then Salatul Dua. Then you've got this post-Maghrib prayer. Okay, it's recommended to pray 6 rak'ahs after the sunset prayer. And this you can see here, whoever prays 6 rak'ahs after the sunset prayer, Maghrib, in between which he speaks no ill. So you may speak, but don't speak bad. Is that clear? Okay. For him, will they be deemed the equivalent of 12 years of worship. In another narration, whoever prays 6 rak'ahs, okay, after Maghrib, okay, right, after the sunset Maghrib, before speaking, 50 years of sin will be forgiven. Okay. Sometimes people are like, what? Yeah, you're not dealing with Joe Bloggs, you're dealing with Allah. Exactly. Allah can do what He wills. You say, I haven't lived 50 years, so I ain't got 50 years of sins. Allah give you 50 years of reward for free. So here, you can see it's saying, come on, 6 rak'ahs, and this is what I'll give to you. You put your head down for my sake, and watch how I honor you. Okay, so you may pray your 2 rak'ah sunnah mu'akkada, then 2 nafil that you normally pray for Maghrib, and add another 2. Exactly, and that becomes 6. Okay, unless you wanted to pray 6 separately, that's fine as well. So that might be a good way to get into the habit. Now, and look again here. This is another home in Jannah. Whoever prays 20 rak'ahs after the sunset prayer Maghrib, for him, Allah will build a home in paradise. Get it? 1 home in the morning, 1 home in the evening. You think about that for a moment. We celebrate people in our towns and cities and around the workplace, who've got multiple properties under their belt. You think, what? It's a great achievement. You see, and you say to yourself, well, you know what? I ain't got the money to do it. Well, then why don't you invest where you can invest? You see? And then somebody else will say, oh, that's not fair, because so-and-so's got loads of homes in the dunya, and he's also doing it for the akhirah. At that point, we say that's just the bounty of Allah. He gives it who He wills. Is that clear? It is. Mahad fadl min Allah. That you don't have a say there. It is what He does, what He will, gives who He wills. But everybody has intentions. I could always look at somebody else and say, Wallahi, if I had 10 flats, what? Wallahi, I remember when I first came back from Damascus, I used to walk past these houses and I think, Wallahi, if I had this house, I'd donate the rent to Syria, that one to sponsor a scholar, and that one I'll sponsor somebody memorize. I used to say it to myself. There's no harm walking down the road dreaming, right? Okay, I'm talking to God, there's no issue, right? Okay, so here, and those dreams are good because, that's what I said. I said, I'll do it. Inshallah, Allah reward me without even having the house. So here, because we're dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is beautiful. It's nice to be able to talk and have this conversation. So that's Salatul Awwabin. So one's mid-morning and the other one is for after Maghrib, okay? And this is where we're saying people who are already praying 5 daily prayers, if you're looking for ways to grow, okay, this is a great way of growing, okay? Getting those prayers in consistently. There's a third one, the night prayers, Salatul Layl and Tahajjud. You can see there's a difference between the two. One is called, okay, and the other one, night prayers, but one's called Salatul Layl, which is literally translated as night prayer. The other one's called Tahajjud, okay, which is sort of waking up, sleeping and then waking up, which is really hard to do. So here, the night prayer, Salatul Layl is recommended, especially in the latter part of the night. The virtues of the night prayer are innumerable. Lots of people don't sleep at night. They just don't sleep. They sleep after they've prayed Fajr. Thinking, why? It's a nice short, bro. Plus, by the time I finish my kebab, I know if I sleep, I'm not getting up, so I don't sleep. So I go and play Fortnite. Or, when my son's sleeping, I go and play his game. See what it feels like and get addicted to it. So here, the son plays by day and the father plays by night, mashallah. 24 hours garrisons and protecting the holy territory of the house. So here, anyhow, if somebody's staying awake at night, they can't sleep, okay? The euphoria of Liverpool winning, or Tottenham now as well, whatever it is, or it might be just be the great buzz that you got from Taraweeh prayer that you are like, whoa, I'm not sleeping, man, I'm staying awake. Okay, whatever it is, but you're awake. Get it? Why not get 2 rak'ahs for the sake of Allah, which is incredible. Allah Almighty says, no soul knows what He has stored away for them that will bring joy to their eyes. And as related in Sahih Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ said, you are encouraged to perform night prayers. For it was a custom of the pious before you, a means of drawing close to your Lord, a penance for your mistakes and a restraint from sin. So now, lots of people say, I can't let go of gунah. I can't let go of sins. I'm addicted. I've got some weaknesses. What can I do? Here's a hadith to take. Go and pray 2 rak'ah nafil at night. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for you. You got to ask Him to make it easy for you. Here's this hadith saying, you pray 2 rak'ah, you pray at night, Allah will protect you from sin. Help you, give you the willpower, create the means, okay, in order for you to let go of things that you deem ugly, okay, and you would just love to get rid of. Everybody's got something. Somebody's sitting there, they've got nothing to get rid of. They're probably seriously ill. Yeah, everybody, every healthy person knows there's things they can improve in their life. Yeah, and so here, this is but tahajjud is hard work. Okay, is a specific type of night prayer. The night prayer is best performed in the heart of the night after sleeping. Now you're thinking, in Ramadan, it's great to just stay awake if you can. Is that clear? It's just better to stay awake the whole night. Qiyamul layl, the entire night, not sleep at all. That's like optimum, but not everybody can do it. So what should I do? I would say I tried last night. So a few nights I just stayed awake, but I was shattered in the morning. Like by Fajr, I was like, even Sahri was like really difficult. And then yesterday I said, you know what? I'm going to try sleeping. So I just went to bed at 11:30. So prayed Taraweeh and finished 11:12. Went to bed, and I woke up like 2 hours later. And it was brilliant. You get it? I woke up and I closed my fast from the 18 degrees, so it was quite early. Was it 2:36 or something? Yeah. So here, oh God, that's going to cause a bit of problems. But anyhow, you heard it from me. Here, it was brilliant. It was like amazingly, So here, the worship was enjoyable. It was lovely praying, fresh, and enjoying the prayer and reciting Quran, and it's beautiful. And opening a du'a book and reading some du'as from, some of the awrad. It was beautiful because sleep helps. You get it? We're designed like that. We need that sleep. So even a little bit helps. It freshens you up. And so it's better to approach worship like that. That's why when you come back from work, getting a little nap in, it's a good idea because it'll help you in Maghrib and Isha. It'll help you in the Salat al-Taraweeh. And so even 10 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour, it might even be around Asr time, but if you get it. It might not be the best thing to do, but in the circumstances, it might be great for you. You see, because it'll help you to be fresh, and you really want to approach worship in the best way possible. So sleeping and then getting up, it's not always easy. So the night prayer is best performed in the heart of the night after sleeping. On this note, I asked one of these kids, I said to him, so you fasting? He goes, yeah, year 5, fasting, yeah. I said, so do you get up in the morning? Because like after Taraweeh, I eat really heavy. Then I sleep in they got open kitchen, right? So he goes, I sleep there. Why? I go, why do you sleep there? He goes, because then I pray Fajr in the morning, and then I go back upstairs. SubhanAllah, this young kid worried about missing Fajr because he sleeps at night. So I think I gathered that he doesn't eat Sahri because, but he does pray Fajr. Year 5. Imagine that. SubhanAllah. Okay. Now, so here, At-Tabarani narrates with a chain returning to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said one should perform Bismillah. One should perform a prayer at night, even if as short in duration as the milking of the ewe. Any prayer offered after nightfall prayer, Isha, before sleeping is deemed a night prayer. So the 2 nafil at the end of Isha, they're great, they are. We've had Taraweeh, people pray 2 nafil, because they count as night prayer. So anybody who's praying that, and it's lovely when you've got this hadith in mind, and then you pray it, rather than you're looking like, Dad, looking or not, how do I get out of this one, Now you approach it differently, think, wow, I've got this hadith, and I've got sins that I want to let go of. Whether you stand or you sit in prayer, it's up to you. But you get those 2 rak'ahs in because they count as Qiyamul Layl. You see, so you get them in before going to bed. And somebody might not be able to pray Qiyam. Tell them, go pray 2 rak'ah. Make them nice and short. See, Sahaba prayed Salah. Some of them prayed really quickly. Because for them it's about getting it. And you're on the ball and you're present. Rather than having a long prayer where your mind is wandering. Some can pray long. And they get it and they enjoy it and they're present. And some can't. So they pray Fatiha, Qul huwa Allahu ahad, Subhana Rabbil Azim 3 times. And they're firing, they're knocking it out as the Indonesian Tarawih goes. Is it Indonesian, Malaysian? Have you seen that video going around? Somebody said to him, look at this. I said, what? He's done all the fara'id, what's your problem? And the wajibat. Good luck to him. I mean, fara'id and wajibat, he's got them in place. You don't like that prayer, you go pray how you want. It looks like he's got his fara'id and wajibat. I mean, you don't mess with Shafis anyway. They sort of get it. They're on the board, right? And I said, look, it looks like he's got it on the board. So, you know what? Between him and his Lord, I'd rather have them praying and, just to fara'id than not praying, right? So, alhamdulillah. I think it's more jealousy because in England, you don't get that prayer. It's like, how do I get that prayer? I want local prayers like that. I don't think you can get one. So here, but the point here is, I want it on the board. Yeah, if I can get 2 rak'ahs present where my mind's not wandering, which is so hard, that's the challenge. That's a good challenge to go for. Get it? Go for a challenge where I'm going to try to pray 2 rak'ah every day where my mind is present. Not for a single moment does it drift off to a burger, drift off to the Champions League final, drift off to somewhere else, drift off to family or children or investments or no. 2 rak'ahs on the board. You get that in, subhanallah. That is, because a lot of it's mental. A lot of it's mental training as well. You got to try to train yourself. Ramadan helps, because Ramadan you're always training yourself. No, I can't eat, no. Praying, remain present with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time. This is a great, great prayer. So tahajjud is to awaken from sleep with effort. It's hard to get up once you sleep, especially sleep 2-3 hours, then you get up. Very difficult. The term night prayer, Salatul Layl, and night vigil, Qiyamul Layl, are thus more general than the term tahajjud. We read that part there. So you've got some, and so that's that. So we say, what to do is before Sahri, before Roza closes, get 2 rak'ahs in. Even 2. Optimum is 8. Okay, Tahajjud, beautiful, 8. But if I can't get 8, get 2 in. Encourage people, go and read 2 rak'ahs for Allah. You know, on the calendar you have Sahri ends, Fajr starts, you have a gap in between. That means Sahri ends and Fajr starts. Those 10 minutes are still Sahri time. So you still pray Tahajjud. You got to go and pray 2 rak'ah and 2 minutes, 3 minutes, go into a sajda and make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Keep the light closed, for example. You got to go into your bedroom, just pray 2 rak'ah, maybe make really long sajdas. And when you finish, go into sajda, just make dua to Allah. Ya Allah, accept me, make it easy for me, and ask the things that you want. So that will be brilliant, because now you're ticking the boxes. 2 rak'ah for salat duha, 2 after Maghrib, okay, 2 before going to bed, 2 before Fajr. And now it's easy, we're all getting up anyway. Those who are, alhamdulillah, Sahri is Mubarak, very blessed. You look for that sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So now this is what we did last time. Make-up prayers performed at night are deemed night prayers. This is brilliant, because Shatraj put this chapter in to say, look, if you pray qada prayers at night when you get up, it counts as night prayer. So get up, pray qada prayers, try and make up from the past years. Go and get buy a diary. The first page, you get a calendar for the whole year. Get in, day by day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and W for the witr. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and W for the witr. You might have apps now. Knock them out. Read it out. You get Qiyamul Layl and you get qada prayers 2 in 1. So that's a great thing to do. But we want to move to the chapter that we got to. Okay. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Never cover a single closing salutation. The night vision of Sha'ban. So we've got to here. Now, No. Ramadan night prayer, which is perfect because we're in Ramadan, alhamdulillah. So it's recommended that people congregate in the month of Ramadan after the nightfall prayer, Isha. This is recommended. Okay, when we say recommended, it falls into a beautiful action that's not binding. So praying Taraweeh is not fard. Okay, exactly in the masjid. Their imam is to lead them in 5 sets of Ramadan night prayers, Taraweeh. Each set of which is composed of 4 rak'ahs, 2 and 2. Okay. After every 2 rak'ahs, one recites a closing taslimah. So you give salam, then you get up and pray another 2. In between every set of 4 rak'ahs, people are to rest for the duration of a single set. That's the ideal. Okay, Taraweeh prayer. So, if your Taraweeh prayer is 10 minutes, you get a 10-minute break, then you go back another 10 minutes and so forth. If the first 4 are 20 minutes, then you get a 20-minute break and so forth. So it could be an all-nighter. Okay, and it doesn't work for everybody. But that's the idea. And we know the Prophet ﷺ came out and he prayed, and the Sahaba saw him praying a new prayer, and some of them joined him. And then he went, the next night he came out again, the congregation grew, and then the third night he came out again, and you can imagine Sahaba and the message getting out that he's doing something and he's praying in congregation in Ramadan, and then he didn't come out, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so here, he prayed those rak'ahs, which sort of comes as 8 rak'ahs and so forth. However, what's really important to note is this, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did pray those numbers, okay? What did the Sahaba do afterwards? And you find Sahaba every year, they would gather, they would go and pray, some alone, some in groups, in the same nights praying that Tarawih prayer that they had witnessed. And the Prophet didn't come out because he was scared that it's going to become fard. And you can feel that when you go out at night for Taraweeh prayer, and you see these Muslims coming from everywhere. In their cars, some are walking, in their silvar kameezes, in their jubbas, in their whatever they're wearing, children, the ladies are there, the elderly. Wallah, it's an amazing scene. Just these areas, as you drive Green Street, any of these roads you go, you'll see somebody going. People are walking towards Taraweeh prayer. I mean, no wonder, it was so beautiful, right? That the Prophet was scared that it might become fard for the ummah, because it's so beautiful. So he didn't carry on doing it. Now, come time of Sayyidina Umar al-Khattab, he walks into the masjid, he sees Sahaba praying, some alone, some in small groups, okay? So he comes up with the idea of he calls Sayyidina Ubay bin Ka'b. And remember, Sayyidina Ubay bin Ka'b is no small Sahabi. He's one of the greatest Quran reciters of the Sahaba, if not the greatest. He gathers all the Sahaba, he tells Sayyidina Ubay to go ahead, okay, and lead the Jama'ah, and everybody else pray behind Sayyidina Ubay. So uniting all of those small groups, bringing them together. So now Sayyidina Ubay is leading the Sahaba, Sayyidina Umar is praying with him, Sayyidina Uthman, Sayyidina Ali, and so forth. Turned up downstairs. Just put them on. So they pray 20 rak'ah. Okay, exactly 20 rak'ah. And subhanAllah, the Muslims have been following that example since that day. However, I still wouldn't say don't fight with people. You don't need to fight with people. Somebody is praying 8, give them, nasiha, try to bring them towards them. I don't know, I'm for a lot for this, that you look at who you're talking to before you say something. Get it? Somebody, they're praying, 8 is like, wow. And for you, just a number can put them off. Yes, I'd say, what's wrong with you, man? And what's wrong with me? You should be praying 20. Forget you and your 20, man. God, forget it. I was trying to do something good. This guy, because normally people in Da'wah, the Maulvis, they're known for this, isn't it? They sort of don't have a lot of wisdom in how they call people to God. And, nobody claims to be perfect here. And we're all open to having nasiha, by the way. It's not an issue if somebody come up to somebody and say, look, Imam Saab, or, Ustadji, or whatever, this is, I don't think there's an issue. We should be able to do that, because we have mutual love for each other, and nasiha is for everybody. However, I would look, if I've got a brother who just about prays Jummah, for example, you see, I would look and say, you know what, he's praying Isha, well done, mate. And if he goes and prays Taraweeh, pray 2 rak'ah and goes, Alhamdulillah, slowly we'll work towards it, inshallah. But for me to fight with my son or my daughter or my brother over 20 rak'ahs, what's wrong with you, Mabi? That's not the approach. That's a really bad approach. Okay, it's very, not wise at all. Okay, okay, okay. So that's not wisdom. 8 is wise, but it's not wisdom. Okay, yeah. So here, think this is my opinion. This is what I feel. I look at people. My children, for example. I take my children to Tarawih prayer where it's short and sweet, and and that if I try to bring them to Jubilee Road or other places, they won't go. It was too long. Yeah, and they even say the long, really long as well. And it's really important for me to instill in their heart love of Taraweeh. So I took them somewhere else, and it's short, and they're buzzing. And my little one's 9, and she goes to me yesterday. We had a niece round, so we were a bit late to the Taraweeh prayer. Plus, somebody played some trick on Chebra. Is it Kitchen Road? There's some works there, isn't it? There's a hole in the road, and somebody moved something. My car tire went right into that hole, so I had to get it out. Alhamdulillah, I got out. But sad that is stuff. Anyhow, on your road, sort it out. Not next to you, Salam. Salam means peace and safety, sort it out. Anyhow, we got there. You know what she said to me? She goes to me, Dad, we missed 8. Please don't do that today. Can we leave 10 minutes? I'm looking at her, I'm thinking, a 9-year-old is loving Taraweeh prayer. Yet she's buzzing on it. What would you pay for that? Is there a value that you could put to your child loving a voluntary prayer? And this is because sometimes we have to give up our things that we like just for the sake of. So here there's a great wisdom in that. People don't agree with me sometimes, and I tell them, look, in Damascus, in the Grand Umayyad Masjid, in the main hall, they prayed 20 rak'ahs short surahs. Whoever wanted to pray and read a whole Quran, they prayed in a side hall they opened for Ramadan. So go pray there, khatam. You want to do khatam, go there. That's wisdom. That's hikmat. That in practice, here we go. Might as well have a few fireworks in Ramadan. And that means the following. In Jubilee Road, it would say, have 20 short downstairs. Okay? Is that clear? Because the main hall, right? Short, because most people need it, lights, they all pray. And have upstairs the khatam. Try and take that one. Swallow that one. That's what happened in Damascus under the care and the supervision of Sheikh Abdul Razak al-Halabi. Hikmah for me. Get it? And that cultural as well, because in Damascus you had khatams but not many. But that just shows you something. The ulama were really into trying to get masses praying rather than getting a minority, perfecting the higher levels or whatever. This is I think we're in a time like that. Yeah, but I'm not saying let's do that in Jubilee Road. I'm just giving you an example of what happened in Damascus. Subhanallah. So this is Taraweeh prayer, okay? And upon completion of the Ramadan night prayer Taraweeh, the Imam is to lead them in the witr prayer. The witr prayer is not prayed in congregation outside the month of Ramadan. So now we know witr is only in congregation in Ramadan, and it's beautiful, okay? Especially when you see people in the third rak'ah going to ruku', you have to hold yourself back, thinking, Okay, so here, witr only in Jama'ah. But do you have to pray in Jama'ah? You say, you've got a number of scenarios here. Somebody comes, prays with the Imam Sahib, you get it? And then they pray Taraweeh prayer, then the Jama'ah takes place, they pray with the Imam Sahib, fine. A lot of people do this. They come late, for example, then they pray their Isha alone, okay? And then they pray Taraweeh prayer with the Imam Sahib. Come with it, they walk to the back. Why? To pray their witr alone. So why are you doing that? You shouldn't do that. You may pray witr in Jama'ah. Exactly. Even if you haven't prayed the fard in Jama'ah, okay, there's no problem there. So there's no need to go back. Even if you haven't finished your Taraweeh prayer, you may pray witr and then pray Taraweeh post that. Yeah? Exactly. So you can still do that too. So it's better. It's remember, wherever there's a larger congregation, the better, more rewarding, more mubarak the prayer becomes. So we should look for those congregations. Look for where the largest numbers are, most likely this masjid, and have a prayer in a large congregation to feel the barakah and so forth. Now, so upon completion of the Ramadan night prayer, Tarawih, the Imam is to lead them in the witr prayer. The witr prayer, as we said, is not prayed in Jama'ah outside Ramadan. The very performance of the Ramadan night prayer, is as a confirmed sunnah, a sunnat. So Taraweeh is a sunnah mu'akkadah. That's saying we don't want people to miss it. I'm not saying don't tell your children to go and pray or don't tell your siblings to go pray. I'm just saying look at who you're talking to and in accordance with that give nasiha. But where we can rally them and say, Yallah, Bismillah, yeah, we want them to pray. Okay. And so here it's a sunnah mu'akkadah. Al-Quduri statement that is recommended mustahab does not contradict this. But he was emphasizing that for people to congregate is recommended. Not that Ramadan night prayer itself is merely recommended, as explained in Al-Inayah. In confirmation of this understanding, it has been mentioned in Sharh al-Munyat al-Musalli that a number of scholars have related a consensus of the scholars' ijma' that the Ramadan night prayer is a sunnah, a beautiful sunnah of the Prophet. We said before, don't ever say just a sunnah. Like, make sure that you protect, your language when you're speaking about the sunnah of the Prophet, and to have adab and not just make it something, marginal. Just a sunnah. No, it's a sunnah of the beloved. Is that clear? So I've got to find ways to have ta'zeem for the word sunnah. Is that clear? Okay, and it was from the same author that I have a story. I've told you before, isn't it? You know the story of Aleppo. Sheikh Talal told me this story. We were going because one of the scholars in Aleppo used to lead a prayer in a masjid, and a mechanic came to him and he said, Imam Sahib, can I leave my sunnahs? Okay, can I leave my sunnahs and of Asr prayer? Okay, because it takes me a long time to get ready, and then join the Jama'ah and just pray the Fard. And he said to him, you may leave them, they're just sunnah. Sunnah ghair mu'akkadah, it is sunnah. This Sheikh, he used to see the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his dreams every Thursday night. Okay, it could have been the Friday night. So again, the mechanic came and asked, can I leave the sunnahs before Asr? Because I get late and busy, whatever, I was cleaning up. And so the Imam said, you may leave them, they're just sunnah. And look now, he used to see the Prophet every Thursday night, Friday night. That week, he didn't see the Prophet. So that first week, he didn't pay, it must have been a shock to the system to not see Rasulullah when you're seeing him every week. But he sort of waited. Another week passes, he doesn't see the Prophet. Then he starts to think, like, what happened there? Why am I not seeing Sayyidina Muhammad in my dreams? And he started to inspect his actions and his works. And he kept thinking about what has he done wrong? Until he reached this conclusion that there could only be that one thing, that I spoke about the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ in this manner. So then he went and he sought out that mechanic to the markets of Aleppo, which no longer exist. Ya Fulan, who asked me this question? I was wrong when I said it just sunnah, looking for announcing until he found him. And after he had corrected that, the dream, they said, came back to him again. So the point is this, that the adab that one shows towards the sunnah of the Prophet, could be what leads to these great higher spiritual things like, seeing Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the dreams. So here we want that, don't we? Do we not want that? We want those type of things. So they come from adab. Okay, so Allah give us all adab, ya Rabb, inshallah ta'ala. So here, the very performances of the Mu'akkadah, we've read this part. We'll go to the next page. Okay, so you can see this is a nice manual. It's fiqh mixed with spirituality. Its time of performance is from after the nightfall prayer, Isha, until dawn. So you can pray Taraweeh anytime after Isha. Is that clear? If some people have Taraweeh for the restaurant workers. Do we have that here? They had it last year or a few years ago, where the restaurant workers finish at 2 o'clock. Then they come pray the Taraweeh prayer, which is fine. You can get your Taraweeh prayer anytime before Fajr enters. Is that clear? So if you missed it, you slept through Isha, for example, wake up, you can pray Taraweeh prayer alone. You can pray Taraweeh prayer alone. As such, if one misses a part of the Ramadan night prayers with the congregation, he is to perform the witr prayer with the Imam and then pray those rak'ahs which he missed on his own. So you should go and pray by it. If you miss rak'ahs, go and make them up afterwards. Hopefully we can go for this target where we get 600 Sunnah mu'akkada prayers in Ramadan. The target has to be there, isn't it? And the good thing is it's possible. Even with the Champions League final, it's still possible. We worked it out already. One brother said the following. He goes, I got a problem. I go, what's wrong? Because I'm going to be in there to come. I said, and? Because how am I going to watch the game? The people's challenges. So he came up with an opinion because he said the Sahibain, they have a fatwa that if you leave the mosque for less than half the day, took what? Ajib, isn't it? Your itikaf doesn't break. I thought, go on, mate. Mosque has Wi-Fi, by the way. Ajib. Its time of performance is from after the nightfall prayer, Isha until dawn. So we've done this. So if you miss your Taraweeh prayer, you can make it up. He is to perform the witr prayer with the Imam and then pray in those rakats which you missed on his own. So we said 600. Why not go for it? Get it. That's your target. I'm going to hit the 600. If I don't get it in Jama'ah because I feel it's too long, then I'll pray alone. You get it? I'll pray alone, but I'm going to hit the 600. You get it? 600 night prayers, standing, listen to Quran in Ramadan. Allahu Akbar. And some do it for a living. They love it. They need to thank Allah. Allah's made it easy for them to fall in love with Taraweeh prayer. You see, and that they just say, Alhamdulillah. What a beauty. Some people you see in Ramadan, they just wake up. They're buzzing. Yeah, in Taraweeh, and people are looking thinking, buzzing Taraweeh prayer. Somebody rang me today, he goes, Taraweeh's hard. I go, why? Because I think I eat too much. By the time I get to Taraweeh, I'm so tired, I can't go to Taraweeh prayer. I said, the answer's hard to that, is it? So eat less. Eat less, go easy on the samosas and the pakoras. Just try one or two and then see how it feels, and then, but it's really hard. Yeah, it's really hard with all that food. You're like, Ya Allah. No. Congregating for Taraweeh is a communal sunnah. Al-Hasqafi writes, rahimahullah, to pray the Ramadan night prayers, Taraweeh in congregation, communal sunnah. This means that the performance of the Ramadan night prayer in itself is a personal sunnah, sunnat ayn. So for you to pray in the masjid is sunnat ayn. It's a personal sunnah. As such, it is disliked for a person to leave it. In regards to his performance in congregation, it is a communal sunnah, sunnah kifaya, such that if nobody performs the congregation, all residents of the locale are deemed sinful. If, on the other hand, an individual does not participate in the congregation, he is deemed merely to have left a more perfect and virtuous action, a tarak al-fadila. Very important to grasp. You get it? Because some people pray at home, they pray in a community center, they pray with friends. Like one of my friends, he goes in Turkey, goes, I don't like praying in the masjid because they pray really quick. So I said, what do you do? Because I pray in the house with my friends, we read a juz. Yeah, he uses hafiz, he reads a juz and they read with him. Because it's an important time for hafaz. This is the time where they get to revise. Is that clear? There's not enough masjid, so it's important for them on a personal level to be hearing. Do you see? Because this is what the Prophet left as the sunnah between Jubilee alayhi salam, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This revision, this is the great month where people revise Quran. So here the point is that it's not a bad idea sometimes, maybe, especially when you've got people who won't go to the mosque. So you know what, we'll have Taraweeh in the house. Taraweeh in the house? Yeah, in our own house, in the garage, Bismillah, come on. Yeah. And you get people who normally don't pray in Taraweeh with you because you facilitate an ease for them. There's not Jummah, you're not saying Jummah in the house. No, Taraweeh in the house because Taraweeh is permitted in the house. Is that clear? As for Jummah, it can't be. And so, and it's important to differentiate and understand this conversation. This is not me saying stop praying in the masjid. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the ones who don't pray, I want to give them a taste of it, right? So I could easily have a nice iftar for my mates, and then post iftar say, you know what, we're going to pray Taraweeh prayer. We've got somebody to recite Quran here with us. Come on, boys, Bismillah. And they've never prayed Taraweeh, for example. And suddenly you made it easy for them. They can pray wherever they are, and it could be the reason for them praying Taraweeh for the rest of their lives. Why? Because you got them in. It's trying to get them through the door. That's the hard part. A lot of people don't come through the door. So there's different ways of trying to get them to do this. Likewise, if some people perform the prayer in congregation in a private home, they're merely deemed to have not received the full benefit and virtue of performing it in congregation. at the masjid. So it's not sinful. Okay, is that clear? No. And so for sure we see here the greater barakah is in the masjid. Why? The greater congregation. The performance of the prayer in congregation at the mosque, okay, Bismillah, is a communion sunnah, sunnah kifaya upon the whole of a given locale, such that it is fulfilled even if one or more mosques in a town hold a congregation. So that means if just one masjid did the Taraweeh prayer, no other did it, there would be no sin. Because you remember you got Fard Ain, Fard Kifaya. Fard Ain is the 5 daily prayers. You have to pray them yourself. Fard Kifaya is like the Janazah prayer. Okay, some people need to pray over the dead, otherwise everybody's sinful. Wajib Ain is like the witr prayer. And Wajib Kifaya is what? Do you remember this one? What's Wajib Kifaya? What's a communal Wajib? Like somebody walks into the room here, for them to give salams is what? It's sunnah. For them to give salams. But once they've given the salams, it's wajib upon the whole congregation, or at least one person, to respond. So when that, because responding to a salam is wajib. So now, if one person gives salam, alaikum salam, it's enough. You get it? It removes the sin from everybody. But everybody just gives him dirty looks, like, you know, that, then we're all sinful for not responding to the salam. So here, and then you've got sunnah, ayn is sunnah kifaya. You got the sunnahs of the i'tikaf falls into that as well, right? So you got Taraweeh prayer is similar. Okay, we've got communal. Alhamdulillah, Taraweeh prayers are thriving, you know, in our town and I guess across the UK. It's a beautiful thing. I don't think the numbers have diminished. From what I understand, I think they've grown. Maybe because the population has grown too. Okay, I might be wrong. That's my understanding. Okay, looks like, mashallah, it's quite busy. Night vigil in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. What time is it? 7:50. I think looks like your night vigil has already started. So, any questions before we end? Remember, 10% of Ramadan has gone. 30 days, if it is, we're lucky. 3 days are gone. So it goes quick. Allah's great, immense rahmah for those who are revising for the exams. So no sun. Do you get it? So the weather is so beautiful and nice, you know, that I guess you all agree, right, that Ramadan is not as difficult as it has been in the past years. Remember last year? Ya Allah, huh? So here, so alhamdulillah, on lots of levels, you know, even those who are commuting, alhamdulillah, it's a bit more easier, yeah, with the rain and so forth. So it's trying to find, now you've had 3 days, and you can look back at your 3 days and think, what have I done? I said I was going to do all these things. What have I done? So sort of some people, I've got the 5 daily prayers in alhamdulillah. Some saying, I haven't had them in jama'ah. And some are like, alhamdulillah, I nailed them in jama'ah, but takbir tahrima. Do you get it? Good. So it's trying to look, what have I done? How much Quran have I read? Yeah, how much have I read? 1 juz, half a juz, 1 page. Get it? And it's trying to look at how can I, because look, a weekend's coming. This is your first Friday night now after Maghrib. Then the weekend's coming. You've got a half day most likely on a Friday, because you're going to drop the whole working from home thing, okay? And then you've got Friday, you've got Saturday, you've got Sunday. And it's really important to look at, how can I get myself going? Yeah, how do I read a Quran? People should not shy away from Quran Sharif. Lots of people are shying away. As Ramadan starts, they're not reading. I can't read. Why can't you read? Read a page. It takes ages. Read that page and it takes ages. Khalas, it is what it is. Maybe you do a juz in Ramadan. And for you, that's a world record. Go for it. Why are you shying away from the book of Allah? There's nothing greater than reading Quran in Ramadan. You know, go and take your share of the Quran. Open it up in English, in whichever language. You know, if you can't read Arabic, just open it up. But don't shy away. Read. I said to my daughter, I said, we were traveling from Banbury back to Wickham. I said, listen, read some Quran on her Kindle. She was like, it's hard. You get it? I said, tell you what, read 2 pages. Right? She read 2 pages. I said, now, relax. After 5 minutes, I'll tell you again, read 2 pages. So just chilling, eating away or whatever. 5 minutes later, I said, Yallah, 7 minutes later, 8 minutes. So read 2 pages, she read 2 pages. Another 5, 6 minutes, stopped. So read another 2 pages, 2 pages. We got to Wickham, subhanAllah. So how much have you done? She would have done 10 pages. A half a juz. You know, it's a half a sipara. So I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is this, listen, if you have it bite-sized and you're finding it really hard, just spread it out. A page an hour. Get it? By the end of the day, you would have done half a juz. Half a sipara. How? In something which is sort of dead space, dead time. You know, 1 page. Every hour, 1 page. So here, that's one way. So there's a lot of, you know, like the techniques to maybe to get a Quran done. But you got to tell yourself, I'm going to do a Quran. Until you don't decide, nobody else could decide for you. You know, in English or in Arabic or Bangladeshi, in Urdu, I'm going to do it. Get it? And then you got to find a way. Allah bless my teacher. I told you this before. Sheikh Abdul Ghani Nabulsi, he said, he goes, in Ramadan, I find one day I try to read the whole Quran in a day. I said, Sheikh, how do you do that? I find a masjid where nobody knows me. I go in, I just read the whole day. Wow. So that's not a bad idea. Come Saturday, drive to Chesham, Aylesbury, Slough, somewhere. Nobody knows you. Just go in and read. Because you come Jubilee Road, you can't read. You get it? Or TikTok, from the door to the main hall, you take you 10 minutes sometimes. Because it's beautiful, it's nice. I gotta get reading. You know, I can't afford to do this because 10 minutes or 5 minutes every prayer time, that's a lot of time. So I gotta find a place where nobody knows me, go in and just read. Or sometimes I park in my car and just sit and read. Because if I come in, it's really hard. But when people are parking, I just pretend I don't see them. Some are really good. They don't. Some come knock on the door. I'll just carry on. So it's not, you know, just park up something to read. In this quiet space, you and your Lord. Nothing greater than the Quran Sharif, inshallah ta'ala. So hopefully I want to hear, inshallah, people say, Alhamdulillah, I've done a juz, I've done a Quran, I broke my record, I never knew I could do it. Alhamdulillah. Once you do the khatam, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Inshallah, every year you're going to do it. And every year, maybe you're even going to smash that record of yours. You just got to do it the first time. Get it in, inshallah ta'ala. And so hopefully, weekend coming, we look forward to it. This is a great weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Hey, inshallah, get ahead. Get ahead, you feel good. So any questions before we end this very beautiful session? Alhamdulillah. Any questions? None? Allah bless you. Put barakah in our time, inshallah. Barakah in our worship. Accept it from us, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our sins and Allah overlook our mistakes. Allah mend broken hearts, inshallah. Allah repair our relationships, inshallah. Allah make us from those servants. Ibadah has been accepted, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, overlook our mistakes and shortcomings. Allah put barakah in our time. Ya Allah put barakah in our ibadah. Put barakah in our families. Make our homes frequented by malaika, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, shower your rahmah upon the ummah of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, wherever they are. Allah bless our brothers and sisters in Syria, in Palestine, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, in Burma, in China, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, shower your rahmah upon them, make it easy for them. In Yemen, Ya Rabbil Alameen, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, Ya Rabbil, in India, Ya Allah, wherever Muslims are suffering, Ya Rabbil Alameen, Ya Allah, make things easy for them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq, Ya Allah, to get along with one another, Ya Allah. Give us tawfiq and give us heart to be able to forgive one another's mistakes, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq and make us from amongst those who bring hearts together, Ya Allah, not break, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Give us tawfiq to be people who unite the ummah, Ya Rabbil Alameen, and not break the ummah, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, make the Quran our imam. Give us tawfiq to recite it by day and night, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, make this recitation a proof for us and against us, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, make us from amongst those who memorize the Quran, understand the Quran and spread its nur, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, make us from the special people of the Quran, Ahlullah wa khasatu ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, give us the death whilst reciting Quran, Ya Rabbil Alameen. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. بارك الله فيكم. Jummah tomorrow, inshallah. So great night ahead this Friday after Maghrib. No, it's not your normal Taraweeh. Friday night Taraweeh. First Friday night Ramadan Taraweeh. Allahu Akbar. And tomorrow, mashallah, Jummah. Mubarak, inshallah. Allah bless it for everybody. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So what's for iftari today? We've had the pakore. Anything new? Palak, alhamdulillah, palak. Anything else? What do the kids love?